Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Eike Sky, and tonight I am joined not only in the box by Baćo, but here in the Tier 1 lobby we have a few special guests. Mally, if you want to talk us through what's going on tonight.
Well, first I'm gonna say good evening to you. It's a pleasure to be back in the comm box once again. As we are reaching the midpoint of the season, for the first time we are having Tier 1 and Tier 2 drivers on the same track. Now, what we will be looking at tonight is two races at Mugello, which will feature actually two championships on the roll. By merging drivers on the same track, we are not merging their championship status, so we don't want to interfere with what's happened in the past. For example, some drivers taking wins, and now they will most likely be able to run around the lower top 10 positions. So if we just merge the championships into one tier, we would have people who build up advantage in the first half of the season, and then basically just keep it right there until the end. So currently we are having sort of a multi-class championship on track. I believe we have 12 drivers from Tier 1, 8 drivers from Tier 2, but we will talk later on. And of course, you and I are in our BMW cars once again. Also a pleasure to see, not around the track, but in the pit box.
Yes. Absolutely. You are joining us for qualifying. You can see, well, you can just about see as the cameras go to the sky, 12 minutes remaining, and the drivers are just about getting on to the first of their qualifying laps. We're following Matt Beard at the moment, who is not a name I recognise in the 21. He's going to have a massive slide off into the grass on the inside. And, oh my goodness. Is that Gomez in the number 10? Tier 2 driver?
Yes, Tier 2 driver. Well, I can go through the list right now.
Yes.
So at currently the best placed driver is Ryan Black.
Yep.
In P10, and onwards we have at Beard, whom you just saw spinning. Arrow Smudge, Ruben Rice, Thapt or Thapt, I'm not sure. I have asked this guy just minutes ago how to pronounce your name, and he was like, I don't know.
Okay, so his name is Thapt. Yeah.
Thapt, yeah.
We're going with that.
Then we have Rui Silva, currently the championship leader in Tier 2, who has managed to get 3 consecutive wins in the past 2 weeks, so very good pace, very good shape for him.
Yeah, very consistent driving.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Alvar Gomez, who is the runner-up in the championship.
Excellent.
And then we have Stefan Beswick, currently in the blue number 16 car, as he is on a warm lap. Very consistent driver, not very fast, not the fastest, but seems to me that his presence around the track is always loved by other drivers. I actually saw some appreciation posts to this British driver, and I'm really glad to see this kind of driver interaction.
Brilliant.
So, one of the loved drivers of Tier 2.
Excellent. Excellent. And the opening bouts of qualifying have been fired out of the cars, and it's Sean Purcell that has come out top of the timesheets for the time being. as Toro Rosso now getting into his stride. Maybe a little bit of traffic on that first lap may have caused a bit of a delay for Toro Rosso in that first.
Perhaps, but
first line lap.
Alex Toro Rosso is now going back to the pits. Perhaps some setup changes for an even faster lap. Who knows what can it be? Can it be a wing? Can it be lower tire pressures? Because we are in Italy. Don't forget that.
Maybe some softer tires just to give the traction around these long sweeping corners of Mugello. Aerosmudge and Silver at the moment seem to be were having a massive tussle in the latter stages of each other's flying laps, and Silver has wisely backed off, give the tyres and the car a bit of space and time to cool down so that he can go again for a cleaner qualifying lap. But traffic is really going to be an issue tonight for all of the drivers, and especially the Tier 1, the higher-up drivers. And we're going to address that during the races as well. But let's just very quickly lay out our hand here. What's happened here? What's happening here is with the two tiers being merged for the remainder of the season, what we now have is a Pro category and an AM category, similar to what you would find in the GT3 leagues. And for the Tier 1 drivers, the only thing that they'll notice is they have more cars to race on track. But for the Tier 2 drivers, this might be a real opportunity for them to show what they're made of. The higher ups in the Tier 2 category, the AM category, if you will, they will be looking for Tier 1 scalps throughout the race, using every opportunity and advantage they have to gain places, not for points. That's very, very key here. They are still separated into the two classes.
But for dignity.
But for dignity and pride and achievement. These guys are doing it because they love racing and because they want to do the best that they can personally do. And you put a car in front of a true racer, it doesn't matter if they're in front, it doesn't matter how far they're in front. What matters is what do I need to do to get past them?
Absolutely, absolutely. What we can actually achieve tonight is to see a very competitive midfield. Of course, I highly doubt anyone of Tier 2 will challenge the current top 3, the Spanish duo.
Wouldn't it be interesting if they did, though?
Yeah, but then it would actually mean that Sar and I, as coordinators, didn't do our job properly. Now, I have my eyes on some drivers in Tier 2, we can discuss it, of course, later on, that are perhaps a very good midfield contenders once we actually put them in the mix. So I think that these gaps can surely close, and we can surely see some proper fights. As you said, it's not for points, it's not for championship win, but it's for pride.
Yeah.
Now, if you are a Tier 2 driver and you see a Tier 1 driver, you will definitely not hold back. You would even probably attack more aggressive than actually your contender. So
the first Tier 1 scalps have already been taken by Ryan Black, for what it's worth. Currently sitting in 7th position in qualifying alone. That is some beastly effort from the 20 car.
Yeah, absolutely. So he has managed to currently outqualify Denis Yuznic by a thread. Then Sar and Sam Butters as well.
Yeah.
Also Kit 462.
Yeah.
And then we actually see a group of Tier 2 drivers, and once we get to below P12, so this is something to be expected, but if we can close the gap, then why not do it? I mean, very well done for now. to Ryan Black. Of course, I'm not going to curse him right now, because that's the last thing we want to be doing. But let's jump on board with Team Eintema and to see how Mugello looks like. Do you want to go ahead?
I can lead them around if you want, or would you rather?
Well, I did it last time, so...
Oh, okay. So, this Mugello circuit, flat out down the start-finish straight, now down to third gear for this double apex, occasionally right-hander to start with, and then it's all uphill now for the next few corners. A sweeping left-right takes you through turns 2 and 3. Eintema using a lot more of the road than you would originally use, but just trying to keep the car stable, and he does not do that. He may be a little bit too stiff or a little bit less wing available on the back of that Formula 3 car, but he is not going to stay in the pits for long. We're going to get another run at this with 3 minutes left to go. He's got more than enough time on the clock to get round, so we come back onto the racing line. He's in clear air, which is good for him around this long turn 1, which just gets better and better the further you go around it, through turns 2 and 3 again. A bit of smoke coming off of the car in front, and an accident, someone trying to push a little bit too hard. And now again, on the brakes, you've got a balance between getting the car nosed in and keeping it stable for that mid-entry switch and on to exit to get the power. And now downhill into the valley, running level with the start-finish straight as far as height is concerned. The road falls away before scooping you back up over this double right-hander, and then over the crest of the hill where the cars go light, especially in the lower downforce classes. Now down into another switchback, all types of gradient being thrown at the drivers around here, and now an off camber. I think it's actually flat, but it feels off camber for what we're used to from racetracks. Long right-hander into a neat little switchback again, which just feels so good when you get it right. And now down to the last painstaking corner. Eintema running a wide line to get the throttle down as early as he possibly can as he goes onto a flying lap. This is going to be for guts and glory for Tim Eintema as he comes across the line. But that is your lap guide of this Mugello circuit. Not one that I would like to be stuck further down the track, down the grid for, but overtaking opportunities are there with the heavier braking zones through the midsection. A well-sorted car in race setup can see you climb the field a lot more than a sorted car in qualifying on a light fuel can.
Absolutely, but I think at Mugello, so if you're looking at Eintema, the section he's going through right now, if the car is set up right, if temperatures are okay, if you don't run into traffic like he just did, that section is flat. Flat out. And oh, that's another one spinning right ahead of him. That would be someone in the number 10 or 11 car. That's Aerosmudge in number 11 car, currently running in P16.
Yeah.
So still finding the rhythm, and of course still finding the pace with much more competitive drivers. But let's focus on the top drivers. Alex Grossa is still at provisional pole, but Sean Purcell has just tightening this gap below a tenth, and not very far off is Daniel Fernandez. These three drivers are once again in their own competition. So Mustafa Ake?
That's a glorious lap from Ake, actually. However, the grid is going to look... no, it's not going to look interesting. Purcell, and where's Butters, actually? Butters not doing too well.
Yeah, Butters is currently in P7. He's being challenged by Ryan Black right now. But the top three are once again in their separate fight. Of course, it's always good to see an alive championship fight.
Yep, absolutely.
Be it with Sean Purcell or Danny Fernandez. But
Toro Grossa goes faster with 3 seconds left to go on the clock. This is going to be the last lap for Purcell as he comes out of the last corner. He is a 10th off at the moment, and he's going to abandon to the pits. Yeah, Fernandez, meanwhile, is 800ths faster than he has gone previously. That's not enough to give him the lead, but it is enough to put him onto the front row of the grid if he maintains this pace.
Daniel Fernandez is faster than Alex Torregrossa in Sector 1, so I'm waiting for the Sector 2 split. Seems to be doing his personal best. There's a bit of a wide moment there, 27.0 in Sector 2, and now improving by a 10th over his best lap time. Can he actually challenge Alex Torregrossa? Alex Torregrossa seems to be giving up on his final lap, so it's all eyes on Daniel Fernandez, who goes wide once again but makes a mistake, and that's qualifying over for him. Ryan Black across the line, P5, amazing run, 134.3, and outscores nearly half of the Tier 1 field. So excellent job by him.
This is outstanding. This is excellent for Black. Because he now has, and this sounds like a ridiculous statement to say, he now has a buffer between himself and the other drivers in his tier.
Yeah, so this is what you want to be doing.
Exactly. This is a dream scenario for Black, regardless of his outright pace in the race. It doesn't matter at this point in time. It is where he is in his class, and in his class, well, he has a good few. Let's have a very quick look through. So Ryan Black, currently sitting in 5th at the moment, has Eintema, Butters, Yuznik, Sarv, Mislav Bargo. Before in 12th position is Rui Silva. That's the next car.
Let's not forget Rui Silva is a championship leader in Tier 2.
Absolutely. So Ryan Black has done an absolute beast of a job to get that 5th place. We're gonna have to have eyes on the front of the field. Unfortunately, I'm almost galled by the fact that we have to focus that. But we have a tantalizing fight for the overall lead, and an even more interesting battle as you look further down the grid. Your grid will line up top 10: Torregrossa, Purcell, Fernandez, Ake, Black, Allen, Eintema, Butters, and Yuznik. The lights are ready to go on. That's all we can get done with this massive field, and I can't put into words how excited I am for this. Purcell on the outside, Torregrossa on the right. Who will get the run down to turn 1? There is wheel spin up and down the grid.
Good start by Ake, already challenged Daniel Fernandez and into P3, but not far off is Clive Allen behind them. Is there going to be a dive down the outside of Sean Purcell by Mustafa Ake? Seems to be, but
looks for it.
Goes too wide. However, he has secured P3, and now Daniel Fernandez has this obstruction.
Yeah, that's some glorious driving by Ake to get around the outside of Fernandez into turn 1.
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant. Further down the grid, absolutely tidy. The two orange teammates, McLaren themed, are side by side coming through. Yep, the tier 2 teammates. Beautiful to see those two driving together. But up the top of the field, we have a 5-car battle for the lead. Ake has come from nowhere with a blistering pace to get 3rd overall for the time being, and meanwhile Ryan Black as well. All props to him, sticking with the leading pack for the time being. The first real gap that we have, well, if you can call it that, is behind him to Clive Allen.
They are separating, definitely.
And
so
this is going to be... Sorry,
they're clustering right now at the top, but seems that Ryan Black cannot actually keep up with Daniel Fernandez. However, Clive Allen and Tim Eintema also can't. Actually, Tim Eintema has dropped behind. So we have Sam Butters and Clive Allen going side by side through the start-finish straight. Clive Allen is picking up on inside DRS straight. Good braking zone, but a very wide turn in. Clive Allen manages to stay ahead of the number 40 car. That's that battle over for now, as they're going through narrow and twisty sectors 1 and 2. Mustafa Eke picking up the pace once again, fastest overall in sector 1. This looks like it will be a four-way battle for the win. Sorry for Ryan Black, but I cannot right now keep him in the mix for the podium, as he seems to be slightly dropping to Clive Allen. 2/10 lost in sector 1. Of course, these are very good lap times for a race start, but Mustafa Eke 3/10 faster than Sean Purcell, currently within a second, within a striking
and
distance.
Sean's having to go defensive.
Sean Purcell going really defensive right now. Can he actually edge him on the start-finish straight? We're going to the last corner right now. This is a big braking zone, wide turn, so different lines can be taken, and early on power for the start-finish straight. A very, very long straight, I believe. Something like Monza, perhaps slightly less, but still amazingly long for
Sean goes defensive very, very early, but sneaks back to the middle of the road. Eke looks up the inside, but is not going to have it that way. We're on board with him right now. There is not going to be a line through the switchback, I don't think. No. Mustafa choosing discretion, the better part of valor here for the time being. He gets a great drive, almost too good, off of the right-hander. But now into the second switchback again.
It's inevitable that Sean Purcell is slowing down Mustafa, as Daniel Fernandez is also catching up to them. So Sean Purcell currently the slowest in the mix, as also Alex Grossa is going ahead of Sean Purcell.
Here's a thought. Is it Purcell defending against Eke that is causing his lack of speed in this very early point in the race? Now that there's some clear air around him, Purcell is gapping Eke behind just a little bit.
Perhaps, but Alex Grossa 27.3 through sector 2. That's 7/10 faster than Mustafa Eke and Dani Fernandez both. As they are stuck up in dirty air behind Sean Purcell. There doesn't seem like they can improve much. I'm watching now Saar and Tim Eintema. Saar going really wide through the last corner. Tim Eintema taking a much tighter line, which would give him a better run out of the last corner. It's a DRS straight. Don't forget that both cars have DRS due to in-game limitations. So Saar seems to be picking up on the inside line. Will force Tim Eintema to go the long way around braking zone. Tim Eintema carries much more speed through the corner, and now he gets the inside line. So will he be more confident on braking? Go side by side. That's a bit of a contact. Both cars are out briefly. Saar rejoins, but Tim Eintema is sent spinning, which lets Mislav Bago through. Matt Beard seems to be far off.
I do have some galling news. Ryan Black has dropped all the way down to 12th.
God knows what happened there, but
I would suggest there's been a mistake there. Either someone behind has gotten impatient, or he's just made a mistake. But didn't you say that Silver is his rival? Silver, 20th position.
And last lap 3:32.
Black has a spin over the top of the hill. He is sideways across the road, manages to avoid getting hit by any cars. That was very, very close and very lucky for all concerned.
He was nearly collected by Aerosmudge.
Testament once again to our AOR drivers and just how professional and heads up they really are when it counts.
Absolutely. So the top four broken away. They're matching lap times, mid 134s. Daniel Fernandez seems to be dropping ever so slightly, but they are still half a second faster than Clive Allen and enjoy a nice gap, as Sam Butters is falling into clutches of Denis Yuznic. The fight between number 40 and number 33 car seems as very entertaining right now. even though Denis Jurnic is a bit faster than Sam Butters, seems to make more mistakes as we're
Meanwhile,
going.
Beswich looking around the outside of Beard through turn 1. It was not going to happen through there, but Beswich is hungry for that 12th position now. Aerosmudge as well is looking in close contention with Stubborn... what? Stubborn Gymnast.
Yeah.
Stubborn Gymnast looking up the inside. It's never going to happen through these switchbacks because the road naturally gives the space back to the car on the outside, but now he's going to be under pressure from Black, who is still recovering, but...
As Aerosmudge goes a brief off track and
This is
the position
2 places. Wow.
Yeah, and let's not forget this is actually a fight for podium, I believe, in Tier 2. So Beswick is currently in 3rd position of Tier 2, if I'm not mistaken.
That looks right, yeah.
So even though they're fighting for something that generally wouldn't be in points, they're fighting for the win here. And
yes.
currently the leading driver is Alvar Gomez, who is just behind Tim Eintema, and Mislav Bago is going wide. Mislav Bago drops to Alvar Gomez, so Alvar Gomez into P10 right now.
Yep.
Starting slowly to increase the pace, and let's hope he can reach far more than that.
And once again, this is a point that is going to come up throughout both races tonight.
Hold on. We have a fight at Aerosmudge and Ruben Rice. Aerosmudge goes inside into turn 1. Sorry, that's not Aerosmudge. That is Ruiz Silva. Sorry, Ruiz Silva against Ruben Rice. So the Portuguese duo have traded places. They seem to be in.
Beard has thrown it off.
17, I believe.
Yeah, Beard has thrown it off into the gravel. Obviously got a bit of a kick on the exit of turn 2. Wasn't able to hold it into turn 3. This is so... What do we have? Beswich is...
Oh, Aerosmudge once again off the track. That's... seems to be learning the hard way. But Stubborn Gymnast is challenging Beswick or the other way around. I'm not sure.
No, that was exactly as you said. But Ryan Black is going to take advantage of the 2 running side by side. Beswich was blocked up the inside by Stubborn Gymnast, as he's entirely right to do. Ryan has just gone, I'll have some of that. And Reese as well, it looks like, is going to have in on that action as well. Nope. Beswich is going to... Hang on a second. Silver is a lap down. That's what's throwing me off. There was a car there that was not in the right place on the timing screens.
Oh.
Yes, so
for a championship leader.
The championship leader is a lap down.
As Beswick is now fighting with Ruben Rice at this moment. Very good runs of both drivers through the start-finish straight, but Ruben Rice has that inside in that lovely McLaren-looking car.
It really is.
Beswick lets him through right now, but fight seems to be opening 2 places ahead for P12, or I believe the second position in Tier 2.
Fernandez dropped down to 7th. He has thrown it. He's thrown it off the road at the top of the hill. Across, it looks like it's just after that double right-hander coming up the hill. Gone across the crest, and the car's gone light on him. We've lost Beard as well, unfortunately. But Fernandez having a mare as just ahead now. Butters and Yuzhnik are battling away. Yuzhnik had the line up the inside and is going to either retain or take that position for the time being. Further down the field, grief, there's fights everywhere.
People are stacking up. This is quite nice to see.
Yes.
Sam Butters has gone really aggressive because Denis Jurnic was also going. So Sam Butters in the mix of these 2 cars is actually trying to attack and defend at the same time. So very good skill level is required. Denis Jurnic goes too far off and loses some time to them. But
he's been given a reprieve.
they're in a really good position as they're currently Clive Allen is in P4, Sam Butters P5, Denis Yuznic P6, and they are surely waiting for Daniel Fernandez to catch up and start fighting, start plowing through, may I say.
Butters is going to have to go defensive. You ran wide through the first of the two corners, but through the switchback, it's going to be close. That's some superb driving from both Yuznic and Butters. Yuznic eventually having the right of way on the inside, saying, "No, this is my line. You're going to have to work harder for that, mate."
Yeah, and appears to me that there has been a slight bump, but I'm not willing to call it because
I don't think that was. I think that was close, but not actually contact. And you can see Butters still hankering after that 5th position, and at the top of the timesheets they are spreading out slightly. Purcell, Torregrossa in that clear air is having his way with the track for the time being.
Oh, Yuznic makes a slight mistake, goes really wide and makes another mistake, snap of oversteer on the rejoin. So this is all good for Sam Butters, but he's once again in the mix. So trying to attack and defend at the same time, while Daniel Fernandez has caught up just like that.
Yep.
He's just right behind these two guys, and seems to me that the pink car and the yellow car, they are fighting really elbows out, so they're both losing time to Daniel Fernandez, and Fernandez picking up some grass on the corner entry definitely won't be so kind when trying to regain positions and perhaps charge back to the podium, which I doubt will happen.
And let's be Yuznic goes off the track. Wow, what a massive amount of oversteer. It's going to spin it half round. Is not going to lose a place to Eintermet, it looks like. Yeah, he's back on the road and moving again. But that removes him from this battle. But this is the thing now, is that Clive Allen currently has 1.3 seconds to the back of him between himself and Butters here. Butters and Fernandez both way quicker than Clive Allen on any normal day. Fernandez seems to have had a bit of a bad luck perhaps, as Ryan Black makes it past Mislav Bargo, and that is going to put him back into contention for the lead of his particular race. But yeah, how is...
This is very good for him. Meanwhile, we have Sarv has gone out to track. I'm not sure what happened, but has dropped quite a few positions and now is behind Mislav Bago as well. So currently in P13 in overalls.
Yeah, that would be...
Not sure what happened there, but he will be in the mix of Tier 2 drivers as he needs to go past Stubborn Gymnast, past Ryan Black, who is fighting with Alvar Gomez for the lead of Tier 2. Right now they're going side by side, and Ryan Black goes quicker and finally regains the lead of Tier 2, but we are still not over yet, as seems to me that
who is that?
That's Rui Silva. Yeah, he's lapped down.
Right.
He doesn't drive like being lapped down, and I'm sure he wants to unlap himself from these two guys. But very, very good job for Ryan Black for taking the lead once again.
Yeah,
and
it shows his pace.
Yeah,
it really does.
His best lap time is at the bottom of Tier 1, so with some luck he can actually push and perhaps try to gain some positions in the top as well. Not that it will matter in the championship, but give an overall boost.
Yeah. It's all about Mislav Bargo throws it off. That's going to give Saab an opportunity to catch up, but he's still 5 seconds in arrears. Oh no, here we go. Onto the start-finish straight. Saab has a massive overspeed to Mislav.
Yeah, but the gap is too big.
The gap is just a little bit too big at the
for a
moment.
whole gap.
But that will give Sarv a kick up the backside, so to speak, to get his lines right and get that position gained when a car appears in front of you. Oh, as they both go massively wide. Mislav, the not quite as offensive as Sar's exit from the track, but now that's going to put him into the clutches of Aerosmudge and Reese.
And perhaps Aerosmudge will look to pass Sar by any means to try and use him as a break for Ruben Rice. This is a good tactic, but Ruben is all over his mirrors. They're nearly coming together through this fast section of double right-handers. So let's see in sector 2 who has the edge. Ruben Rice goes inside. They're trying to go side by side through the right-left cutback.
It's never going to work. It doesn't work.
They're still side by side. Aerosmudge seems to be going really slow through that left-hander now. Ruben Rice has the inside, and they're still showing maximum respect to each other, which is what
superb.
we see there. They're not driving at the maximum speed, but they're driving just respectful, as Aerosmudge will still have his say in this battle. We're coming through the last corner. This last corner is very tricky one to take, because depending on your line is your exit speed, and this is probably where Aerosmudge has the edge. We're not even halfway down and he's already side by side with Ruben Rice, who picks up the inside line to defend into turn 1, but if Aerosmudge has the opportunity, he can dive into one of the corners. Not gonna happen for now, as the gap is building up, but a very, very good fight between these two drivers, and what's really good to see is the amount of respect they showed each other through it.
Yeah, that was an absolutely brilliant execution by Reese there. Set the corner up 2 or 3 in arrears, as you said, following Aerosmudge almost on his diffuser to put the driver off, make him defend, and then just mess up all of his lines. It was here a lap ago that they went almost side by side, but Reese went back to the racing line much quicker than Aerosmudge did, and that's what gave him the slight overspeed and the inside line into this long sweeping right-hander.
Meanwhile, Rui Silva seems to be trying to unlap himself from Alvaro Gomez.
Excellent.
Seems that he's having a really good pace, but I don't know if he has the pace to unlap himself. Right now, let's see if he attacks into turn 1. Oh, that's a big lockup, and Alvaro Gomez just relaxes, and
lets the car pass.
He's probably saying to himself, "Oh, I'm not fighting this guy. Why would I?
Yeah.
Why would I fight him?
Yeah. Why would I? There's no point."
That's an aggressive move at turn 1, but
at the head of the field, Sean Purcell is slowly ringing Toro Grosso in. His last couple of laps have been just a 10th or 2 quicker than Toro Grosso in the lead of this race, but now coming onto the start-finish straight. Say again?
He will once again be quicker. There you go, by 1.5 times. Not big.
It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. There's only 8 tenths separating them with 9 minutes left to go, and a 4-second gap to the back. Purcell can focus Toro Grosso here, and he only needs to reel him in. Again, a tenth and a half per lap. That's all it needs. And then once you get into the wing and Toro Grosso has to start driving defensively, that's where Purcell can strike, and that's where he can use the advantage which he seems to have in this later stage of the race.
I still think there is a bitter in the mouth of Sean Purcell for what's happened at Silverstone, losing the victory in the last lap to Alex Toro Grosso, but
I'm sure if he wins this tonight, then yeah, that will be exactly what his words will be, is this is for Silverstone.
Yeah, but currently this lap they are matched.
Yeah.
Both sector 1 and sector 2, it's matched. They're all they're both on their personal best lap times, which is really close. But there's not an edge in both. So Alex Torgrosa doesn't have the pace to break off, and Schrampelsel doesn't have the pace to attack yet. So
he doesn't need to yet. Meanwhile, someone who does have the pace to attack is Fernandez in 5th position, coming to attack Clive Allen in 4th, looking up the inside. Mustafa Ake with a 1:34.0 goes the fastest of anyone in this race so far, and that surely is the gauntlet set down from 3rd position. But Clive Allen going super defensive on the start-finish straight. Fernandez is going to look to the outside. We've seen positions made through here with some pace, but Fernandez locks up. Allen runs wide. And
he does a switchback.
Maybe with a switchback, but the track turns left next. They go side by side. Fernandez just touching the grass. The minimal amount of space left by both drivers here, and the utmost respect shown by both. There is another left-right switchback here. There's going to be nothing happening through here but for Fernandez, but let's jump on board with him and have a little look at someone taking a shortcut across the gravel trap on the inside. This is what a hunter looks like. Fernandez looking for any chink, any crack in the defensive armour of Allen in front, and he has spotted an opportunity, slowing down for that lapped car. And this is what another factor that having the two tiers merged together is bringing, is more traffic, more lapping for these front-running drivers to have to deal with. Clive Allen is a very predictable and safe driver. He really is a class act to drive against, but he may just... Fernandez thinks better of it this time, but there's only 6 minutes remaining. If he's going to claim that 4th place, it's got to be soon.
Seems that Daniel Fernandez had a better exit out of the last corner. Let's see which lines they pick. Seems that Clive Allen is once again going for the inside, so Daniel Fernandez has to try the long way around. This time without a lockup. Seems to just have the edge to actually do a switcheroo, but forces Clive Allen for a wider line and makes a mistake after braking. and following the clutches of Sam Butters. Sam Butters is challenging him, but they're really coming together right now. Daniel Fernandez just manages to defend, but they have a contact, and Sam Butters is in the grass. I'm not sure what happened there. Seemed to me that actually Daniel Fernandez went a bit too aggressive, and I'm sure Sam Butters will have his saying to this, as he is just ahead of Tim Eintema.
Ouch.
A new fight is opening as Sam Butters has his tires melting, and Tim Eintema just wanted the perfect opportunity to launch an attack.
And
doesn't seem to waste too much time. He goes for the inside on the right left. It seems that the experience has spoken. So you see, Tim Eintema had a better exit. He goes for the inside, just that gap that's nearly there. There's barely space for one car, and Tim Eintema goes for that one. This is amazing drive, but the final say will be through the last corner. Definitely Tim Eintema is not over with Sam Butters. They're coming into the last corner. Tim Eintema seems to take...
Toro Grosso has spun. Toro Grosso with 4 minutes to go. Toro Grosso has spun, and Ake and Purcell have both been promoted. Right, back to the with Butters and Einsma. Sorry, just had to get that going.
This race is unraveling, but back to Tim Eintema and Sam Butters. Tim Eintema, can he launch an inside attacker? Not yet, but seems to have a better run through turn 1. Can he stick through sector 1? This tight left-right seems to be dropping ever so slightly. Doesn't have the pace looking at his lap times, but he is surely a well-seasoned driver and a very good racer. But let's cut back. Mustafa Eke has also made a mistake, 5 seconds down his best lap time. Not sure what happened, but he was really close when Alex Torgrosa rejoined. Was there maybe a fight between the two?
Fernandez still looking at the back of Clive Allen. Clive doing an absolutely sterling job here to keep Danny behind him. Back through the switchback again, going defensive. There is a twitch from Allen and a bump from the rear from Danny Fernandez is all she wrote for that fight. It looks like the 29 drifts up the inside through the final corner. I'm really glad that we were around to see that. That was simply, I think, Clive running out of tyre and driving too defensively, was trying to get the car to do more than it could. And in the end, that was what the pressure did. That's what Fernandez has been waiting for this whole time. And with 2 minutes 30 to go, what a time for Allen to falter in his defence. Very, very well done to him, but it looks like he may be resigned to 5th for the time being.
Well, I'm not sure what happened between the two. Looks like Danny Fernandez just went too happy with Clive Allen, and that bump in these cars on an online server, it's not like bumping your friend in a car park or doing something like that. So this is perhaps too aggressive, but Clive Allen might have his say still. Daniel Fernandez made a mistake on the entry into that fast right-hander and clipped the grass, slowing him down. But seems that Clive Allen is somewhat giving up on this fight, or just simply not having the pace. You know, you can't. I cannot blame anyone when you don't have the required pace to launch an attack. Alex Torgros is still making mistakes. Looks like. Last lap he was 2 seconds down on his best lap. Perhaps there was damage.
With a lap to
or
go,
tires are gone.
Here's a question: is this the final lap, or are we looking at one more? Because Purcell is currently coming through the end of Sector 1. I believe
this is the last lap, and he even has a space to slow everything down.
Yes.
But we'll have a better understanding once we go through Sector 2 measurement.
Usinich has thrown it off again, unfortunately. Ake, meanwhile, with... he's going to spin it. Oh, no!
That's a huge drift.
Is that going to be enough for Fernandez to get through, though? It doesn't.
Daniel Fernandez is entering this section. Seems that Mustafa Ake needs to quickly rejoin the track and start pushing right now. Daniel Fernandez is just a corner away. Let's hope that Mustafa can just bring it home. Of course, don't forget that his tires are very hot right now.
Yeah.
Sean Purcell goes around the last corner. 5 seconds to go. And this is the last. This is the last lap. So let's put our hands together for Sean Purcell once again taking the win and taking the well-sought revenge of Alex Torgrosa, who is coming home in second place. Mustafa Ake seems to have the edge to Daniel Fernandez as he goes out to the last corner. So Mustafa Ake is completing the podium, and Daniel Fernandez, I believe, once again is left out with no silverware to take home. In the meantime, Sam Butters is coming around the last corner, and so is Tim Eitenma. But we have another winner right here, and that is Ryan Black, currently leading us onto the main straight, taking this first win and edging out, I believe, four drivers from Tier 1. Wow. Absolutely amazing job from Ryan Black, as he takes third win, I believe, of this season. Let me just do a quick fact check. Yes, it is. So, third win for the American driver. Alvaro Gomez is taking the second place in Tier 2, and Ruben Rice will come home in third position. And Mislav Bago will complete the first lap. Lapped cars include Sarv, Stubborn Gymnast, Kid 462, Aerosmudge, Ruiz Silva, Stefan Beswick, Thapt, and Matt Beard, who has sadly disconnected mid-race.
Yes.
What a race.
Yeah, and we've got another one of those to come with a reverse grid. So how will the reverse grid be run tonight, Mally?
So the reverse grid will be run in overall.
Excellent. So we will have leading from this. Oh, actually, we're gonna be leading the way, aren't we? Whoops.
No, the top 10 is leading
Oh,
the
is it
way.
just the top 10?
Don't worry.
Ah, that's a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah.
That would certainly be interesting to have two BMWs at the front of the grid.
Yeah, well, I would go full defensive into turn 1. Don't worry about that.
I'm sure.
I would switch places. I would switch sides very, very much.
Yes.
Until people actually stop trying.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. But let's not forget that we have tier 2 drivers at the race start at the beginning. So Ruben Rice will lead us off the way. Alvar Gomez and Ryan Black, they will all have to defend from the charging Spaniards, from Sean Purcell, from Mustafa, Sam Butters, Clive Allen. This is piling up pressure.
Yeah, so you're familiar with everyone who's here tonight is familiar with the Formula 3 format for when we have two races of an evening. The first race is in that qualifying order that we saw at the start of the show, and this second race is going to be with the top 10 reversed, but it is going to be a very, very different atmosphere on the grid tonight as the tier 2. Now, this was something I was concerned about when the merger happened, was that the tier 2 drivers weren't going to see the benefits of this reverse grid. How very wrong I was. And I'm really, really happy to be wrong. It's looking to be an absolutely incredible second race. So as you say, Reese will be leading us away. Gomez will be beside him. Ryan Black, who overcame so many hardships to get to that win. Absolutely staunch effort from the American. Then it will be Eintema, Butters, Allen, Fernandez, Ake, Torregrossa, and in 10th position, as you can see the grid forming now, Sean Purcell. I don't envy the Irishman. Was that win really worth it?
I'm sure it is, because he can now charge for podium at least. But let's not forget that now he has two Spaniards to overcome.
Mm-hmm. Not just one.
And Mustafa in P8 will definitely not help him.
No.
So I think, tier 2 drivers are in the mix at the top. And I hope that everyone will be careful, at least, because they're not fighting for championships. You know, it doesn't cost anything. Well, let's say it doesn't cost Ryan Black anything to let Daniel Fernandez by.
Absolutely, but
apart from his own time, but
his own
lights are coming up, and let's
go.
Ryan Black, amazing start, already past Alvar Gomez, challenging Ruben Rice for the lead of the second race at Mugello. They're coming side by side into first corner. Sam Butters is also challenging down the inside, but it seems that Ryan Black is taking the edge and taking the lead of the second.
Black and Reese are leading the way, with Gomez in third, Butters in fourth, Fernandez up to fifth already, with Eintema. Butters has dropped back down, it looks like.
Oh, that's a crash with Mustafa, and I'm not sure who it was, but Mustafa was charging down the inside of someone and seems to be taken too aggressive. But at the top, a fight between Ruben Rice and Ryan Black is opening, and oh my God, Ruben goes too wide right now.
Just because they're not in this in the race for the overall lead doesn't mean they aren't going to race like they're racing for the overall lead. This is outstanding driving from both of them. Reese leaving absolutely nothing on the table or the track. In fact, running 2 wheels off over the top of the hill. And again, that is very brave. That is when these F3 cars are at their lightest going over the crest of that hill. And meanwhile, down in 4th position, this is shades of the last race for Danny Fernandez, up behind Gomez now. And he is going to want to try and make short work of that Tier 2 driver in front. But Gomez is not going to let him have it easy. Is going to stick right to the inside, as he's perfectly entitled to do. But Fernandez just has the pace. And before the straight is out, he's already in front. Astounding driving.
Actually, Daniel Fernandez is currently the luckiest man alive.
Yeah.
Sean Purcell is in P6 battling Team Einterma right now, and Team Einterma will not let him by like that.
As he wouldn't. That makes sense.
But his other competitors, Alex Torgros is in P11, Mustafa Ake in P12. These guys have a lot to gain.
Yeah.
Sarv and Denis Yuzhnic are in the pits. I'm not sure what happened to them. Perhaps they have retired after some tangles at the race start.
Oh, here we go.
Sure
Here we go. Eintema up the inside of Gomez. Purcell is going to outbrake himself, and Ake Butters is going to jump up the inside. Wow, so just like that, Purcell loses out to Butters. 7th position now for the Irishman. Eintema is now up to 4th with Gomez in 5th. Butters looking around the outside of Gomez and back into the switchback is going to make the position happen. Had the advantage in the inside line. So well executed there, and that's what happens when you have the high downforce and you have the car underneath you. Purcell is meanwhile going to use that advantage to just make the pass into the final corner. But
Gomez is breaking out and will fight Sean Purcell into turn 1. Seems to have had a better run, although
Mislav Bargo's losing out to Silva here as well. Yep, Bargo is going to go down to 9th as we jump back to the other position. Sorry.
Yeah, I was speaking about how Sam Butters planted that move on Alvaro Gomez in the final stages of Sector 3 to use him as a block to Sean Purcell, but Sean Purcell also found his way quite easily. Where is Daniel Fernandez? He's already passed Ruben Rice, so only one position is separating Daniel Fernandez from taking the overall lead, and he will do that 4 seconds ahead of his main rival, Sean Purcell.
Absolutely incredible here.
I can't imagine a better start apart from...
No, yeah. Eintema has fallen down. It looks like he's gotten loose over the top of the hill. He's currently under pressure now from Gomez, as well as Silva and Mislav and Stubborn Gymnast.
Alvaro Gomez doesn't seem to be quitting yet.
No.
This is what we love to see.
Yeah.
This is a brave heart and respect and how can I say, a will to fight and a will to win. Even though they're not competing in the same championship, Alvaro Gomez is trailing behind Team Anton, actually selling him a dummy on the inside but goes for the outside. Team Eintema will break into turn 1, has the edge right now.
Just for the time being.
Yeah, Alvaro Gomez seems to choose a bad line in turn 1. This is what most drivers are making mistakes. You can't go around the outside in turn 1. There's no deal. The only way you can the only way that you can go around the outside there is by having maximum downforce, which will help you have amazing run through that corner and a much faster turn in. But all in all, it's mostly about going inside there. Mislav Bago is in the pits. I think you wanted to say that.
Oh no, that's horrible.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
No, we didn't. Oh, okay. That's heartbreaking. Fernandez.
Ruiz Silva is coming close to Alvaro Gomez.
Yep.
Alvaro Gomez will definitely not like to let him pass just yet, but is Daniel Fernandez... Okay, Daniel Fernandez is really close to Ryan Black, but what's really interesting is that last lap, Daniel Fernandez was slower than Ryan Black. So I don't know what's going on here, some kind of magic. But over the line, Daniel Fernandez will now be much quicker, nearly half a second, actually 7/10.
Wow.
So can he launch a move in turn 1? No, he doesn't. He's not in a hurry, and it's not required you to be hurry. So
No.
Ruben Rice makes a mistake in turn 1, goes a bit wide. Sean Purcell is gaining. Sean Purcell has gone past Sam Butters. We didn't see that. He made the fastest lap of the race, 134.7.
Oh, up the inside goes Purcell past Reese, but the road comes back to Reese, and so he's gonna side by side, and Purcell looks like he's taking it, but Reese is not having it at all. Maximum respect being shown by both of these guys as they come down the hill. Purcell on the outside, Reese on the inside, and this is going to help Butters get back into contention as well for this third position overall.
This is a three-way fight now as Ruben Rice goes really wide. Sean Purcell on the inside, but doesn't launch an attack right now. Sam Butters is in the best position right now. He can launch an attack on both of them.
There's no need as they go side by side into the downhill right-hander.
Goes faster around the outside, but when we leave the corner, who's going to be faster? They're nearly coming together. Sean Purcell is going wide. He's spinning massively, collecting. I believe that was aero smudge, and this is not the end of the fight.
And Butters is gone as well.
Butters has gone as well.
Yeah, Butters was taken out in that incident as well.
Oh no.
So Butters and Purcell both with a heartbreak end to that battle.
Oh, Mustafa Ake has a moment with, I believe, that was not Eros Smudge, it was Alvaro Gomez. Alvaro Gomez and Mustafa Ake come together on the start-finish straight. Not what we want to see, as Rui Silva goes ahead of Alvaro Gomez to take the second in Tier 2, but
meanwhile,
oh my god, what's going on here?
Meanwhile, at the top of the tables, Danny Fernandez is leading the way by 6/10 from Ryan Black. Finally, some semblance of sanity from this reverse grid race. Welcome back, Daniel. I'm almost happy to see you at the front of the field. Down 10.
Alex Torregrossa is in P5, and the next car up the road is Tim Eintema, but Ruben Rice is between them. So
now this is really interesting, isn't it? So Ruben Rice, Ryan Black really outperforming themselves here in second and fourth respectively overall. But let's talk about Tim Eintema for a second here.
That's a big pile up out of the last corner. Alvaro Gomez is involved. Rui Silva is not, but Sean Purcell is also involved. Lost too much time there. Seems to me that Stefan Beswick is also.
Yeah, Beswick.
He's in the pits. What has happened there? It seems that people were going way too aggressive through that complex of right-handers flat. Rui Silva seems to be going a bit slower than usual. Not sure what's
Arrow Smudge was off the racetrack at the long right-hander in Sector 3. Purcell is going to regain 12th position because of that. Toro Grossa looking
Mustafa
at the back.
is in the pits. I'm not sure if he's fixing damage or completely retiring from this race. This is becoming madness in incidents on track. I really want to see that replay thing, but
just have to.
We are sadly limited, but
just have to save the replay and rewatch it after the fact. But Toro Grossa looking at the back of Reese at the moment for 4th position overall. This won't make a difference to his actual position in class. God, it's almost a headache to get around, isn't it? But
absolutely,
he needs to get Reese out of the way if he's going to get to Tim Eintema, who is a further 2 seconds up the road. You can see him just at the front of shot here. So Toro Grossa's true target is in his sight, but he has a McLaren-coloured Formula 3 car in his way at the moment, and Reese is entirely within his right to go defensive into the last corner. Holds his line, locks it up the inside just slightly. Toro Rosso will be used to this strategy, so will use the wider line to try and get a higher top speed come the end of the straight. We're going to jump on board with him briefly, as he should have a massive overspeed coming down the start-finish straight. But Reese again goes right to the inside. We have to jump back to the outside camera to see if he makes the move stick. The McLaren still going defensive up the inside. Just about maintains it in the 25, but the track is going to come to the 38 on the... Oh,
it's a contact between...
I don't think that was even contact. I think that was the 30 lost it on its own, and Reese was almost caught up in Toro Grosso's accident. Heartbreak for Reese specifically, but that gives Stubborn Gymnast a leg up into second position in tier 2. And while all of that was happening, down in 11th position, Sean Purcell, ever persistent, has set the fastest lap of the race.
Very well done to him. I'm not sure what happened between Alex Toro Rosso and Ruben Rice, because I saw a lockup at the rear right of Alex Toro Rosso.
Yeah.
Was it a front left of Ruben Rice? I'm not sure due to the angle I was watching from.
No, I don't think it was contact. I think that was Toro Rosso spinning on his own, locking up the rears, maybe on a downshift or something.
That could be. That could actually happen. Meanwhile, Mustafa Ake has retired completely from this race, sadly. We were definitely looking forward to his great performance, but after coming together with a driver on a start-finish straight, you definitely have second opinions on racing overall. This is something that we don't want to see, and this is something that will provoke additional work by the AOR stewarding team.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing as well, is that if there may be some emotionally charged interviews come the end of the race, but as far as the racing is concerned, for the most part, it really has been exemplary.
Yeah, so many fights we saw that we were lacking. Of course, the top three in the championship, Alex Toro Rosso, Daniel Fernandez, Sean Purcell, they always give us entertainment, but it's only in this group of three, you know. For a lot of times we would be looking at the same race if we kicked everyone else out of the race and just watched the three of them. This is something that for example has shaped some Formula 1 season as well.
Silver
for
runs
example,
wide.
2016 Formula 1 season, where we were all focused on what's going to happen between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, because Ferraris were out of contention.
Yep.
Which
of the Mercedes is going to win?
It was. I hate to see this, but of course they provided us with great racing.
Toro Rosso is looking up the inside of Reese now for 6th position after making that mistake. Is going to make the pass very cleanly and easily. But now Reese, we know, is not one to give up a position, and the 25 car has got the draft of the 30 in front. Is he gonna have the pace to be able to make a move into turn 1? He looks to the outside. The 30, they are alongside as they will dash past the camera. The 30 should just about have it, but there could be a long game here with 15 minutes left to go for Reese. There could be a long game here because a mere second up the road from Toro Rosso is a championship rival in Silver, Rui Silva. So if Reese is clever about this and, for want of a better expression, makes a little mid-race pact with Toro Rosso not to pass him, they can work together and they could both end up getting past Silver here, which would do Ryan Black no end of good for his championship hopes, and it wouldn't do anybody any harm other than Silver, really, would it? Who is very much on a damage recovery weekend, very much on a damage recovery evening, it seems.
Well, he's still a podium contender. although he seems to be a tad slower than his compatriot Ruben Rice. Meanwhile, Sean Purcell is in P10.
Yep.
And the next car ahead is Sam Butters, but they're not really far off. So we can have a battle between Sean Purcell and Sam Butters come the end of the race, possibly with Clive Allen as well. But
yeah, depending on the pace of their respective cars, Danny Fernandez has just set a fastest lap of the race, 1:34.1 I think it was, or 1:34.4. Purcell meanwhile is doing 1:34.6 down in 10th. So that gap is getting demolished at the moment between Purcell and Butters, gone from what was 3.5 down to 2.5 in a single lap. Purcell really feeling the fire after that win last time out, four-wheel drifting into the second switchback at the start of the circuit.
Purple Sector 1.
Yep, that doesn't surprise me. Purcell is a man on a mission. He doesn't need anything right now. He just needs every second to be a little bit longer so that he has another nanosecond to get to the cars in front. Meanwhile, the gap between Butters and Allen is coming down as well. Oh no, it's not. Not as much.
No.
Allen is closing on Reese. Is what I was reading and didn't quite communicate to my mouth properly there.
Yeah, that's something that's going on. But
Purcell, 1.7 seconds now.
I am still amazed of Ryan Black. This guy is still in P2 overall. Just escaped the carnage of lap 1. He is amazingly consistent. I would say even more consistent than Daniel Fernandez right now.
Well, this evening for sure.
His lap times are perfect. So this guy can actually take an overall podium.
Yep.
What a feat.
A feat. Yes, a feat, and very, very well deserved. Make no mistake, he did put himself in a position to have the advantage coming into this race. He was at the back of the top 10. He had that grid position to be able to escape that chaos, but he worked for that. He's worked for this.
I'm also looking at another podium contender, that is Tim Einterma. Seems to go for the only second podium of this season.
Yeah.
Which, after taking multiple wins in previous seasons, it's really painful to watch, but it's always a nice pleasure to have the Dutch on a podium. So,
well,
currently in his tier he's P2, but let's cut back to Alex Torgrosa, who is just behind Rui Silva as they're going onto the main straight. Which line you call it?
Torgrosa outside. Yep. Silva had to go.
Now that is.
Sorry, yeah, I was a bit late on that. Silva had to go defensive there, but the pass was already done halfway down the straight. That's low drag driving, I think that was from Torgrosa, as my
perhaps.
PC once again has a fit. Wow, that was strange.
And Sean Purcell is just at the back of Sam Butters right now.
Yeah.
Didn't have a chance on the start-finish straight, but Sector 2, perhaps. Let's see what happens between the British and between the Irish. So Sean, I did not forget.
Yep. Don't worry. You would have been reminded anyway. But for once, it's the Irish on the attack rather than the British.
This is a reference I don't usually get, but
I'm not going to expound that on a stream. That seems like inappropriate. But Purcell is looking very, very aggressive. Butters goes defensive for the first time as Purcell applies the pressure around the outside, able to just point the car seemingly where he wants it to be, almost thinking the car to the position on the track by comparison. Butters.
By the way, Sean Purcell is losing a lot of time behind Sam Butters.
I can imagine.
He's currently more than a second behind his fastest lap time, and he didn't do any mistakes. He just can't get past past Sam Butters. As they're going around the last corner, Sam Butters takes a really wide line, which slows him down on the straight. Sean Purcell did that.
And we see a
did that
mirror.
corner perfectly.
Yep, we see a mirror of what happened with Toro Grosso just now.
And he's already passed, but he's already passed. There was no fight in turn one. This is what happens when you perfectly execute the last corner at Mugello. So it looks easy, but knowing what's coming behind it, it's really tricky to get it right. So if there was half of that straight, it would be easy, but it's like, I don't know, a kilometer straight?
It's something along those lines.
1.5 perhaps?
A bit crazy, yeah.
It's huge, and every inch counts there. As
Meanwhile, Purcell now looking at the back of Alan for 8th position. It's not going to be a podium for tonight, but it may well be somewhere close to it for Purcell if he keeps on like this. There's still 7 minutes to go. Alan has a 6-second gap to Reese, then to Silva, then Toro Grosso. There is an insurmountable mountain, surely, for Purcell here. But the 7 takes a wide line into the long right-hander. Now the switchback, there is not going to be a pass made through here unless Purcell pushes Alan off the track, but the line is already there. Oh, Alan almost caught napping there, was not expecting the move from Purcell. And
Sam Butters is attacking Clive Allen. Clive Allen seems to have a worse run of the 3 out of that last corner, and Sam Butters is breaking off from the toe. He can actually fight back on Sean Purcell 3 wide coming into turn 1.
And
what's going to happen here? Oh, that's a contact with Sam Butters. Sam Butters is sent flying, and Clive Allen slows down through that corner. This is
that was so unfortunate. That was so tight between all 3 drivers. It didn't even look from the camera angle as if Butters made contact with Alan, unless there was some kind of desync or something, which would be a rare thing with AOR, with the servers that we're running.
Meanwhile, Stubborn Gymnast in the sand. And
already, I was going to say, I hear
Silva is past him. Let's see if Ruben Rice catches up. Ruben Rice is also off the track. What happened here?
Purcell is going to have Stubborn Gymnast. He's there. He's in 7th. He's got a 3/10 gap, and he's got the grip in the tyres. He's not got any gravel on there, and he's going to look around the outside, and Stubborn Gymnast has no answer for that number 7 car.
Sean Purcell is making it look too easy right now.
And now he's in 4th. He's now in 4th in class. He's got 13 seconds to overcome to Silva, but he has all of the clear air to do it in. If anyone can do it, you're going to start seeing some purple split times from Sean Purcell here. The Irishman has been on a charge this entire race, and if he can make a 13-second gap fall in 5 minutes, it's going to be him.
Let's see. I'm really looking forward to this, as he's in clean air now.
So am I. Meanwhile, slightly further back, Reese and Alan are looking like they are coming to a scrap together.
I wouldn't call it a scrap.
Not quite yet. I was trying to assess their pace. They're following closely to each other, both having a bit of a torrid time with this Mugello track.
I'm not sure of the order, because Ruben Rice has lost a lot of time last lap due to being in the gravel trap, and I'm not sure if Clive Allen caught up and passed while Ruben was standing.
I think he did kind of abandon.
Or was it
offline.
later on? Meanwhile, Sean Purcell, purple sector 2.
Yep,
he's going for it. He is absolutely going for it. But sector 3 seems to be his worst of how can I say in competition.
Yeah. Well,
his sector 3 is the slowest.
If he's gonna do it anywhere, it's got to be now. 1:34.5 does Torregrossa, 1:35.8 does Silver, and now we need to wait for a whole 11.5 seconds, down from 13. That was 2 seconds in a lap, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. 1:34.3 does Sean Purcell, and that is his fastest lap of the race. An absolutely exemplary display of car control there.
Yeah. Lovely to see, and lovely to see him in fresh air. So 3 minutes to go, the fuel is burned, hopefully tires are not that much, so it's time to do some quali laps. And Alex Torregrossa is 10 seconds behind Tim Eintema, so he cannot get P.
He's not going to get that second place.
Yeah, Sean Purcell is 12 seconds behind Rui Silva and 15 seconds behind Alex Torregrossa, so he's not going to get that position. So what he can get the fastest lap. Both actually.
But he's going to try.
Actually can.
He's going to try. He's below 11 seconds now. Let's just for the pure poetry of what's going on here. I don't think. Alan takes to the gravel. As it looks like, I don't know if that was necessarily a mistake or contact. But as we come down towards the latter half of the track, how is Purcell's time looking this time around?
He's matching his best lap times, and so is Alex Torregrossa.
It is now approaching 10 seconds, the gap, as he comes out onto the start-finish straight. Let's do a lap with the Irishman, as this is going to be a...
1:34.337. He did the last lap. Best lap time of the race is done by Daniel Fernandez a long time ago, and it's a 1:34.1.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. Alex Torregrossa seems to me that he cannot make a faster lap.
Yeah.
Sean Purcell needs only 2 tenths to take that. Not quite. He won't take points by becoming the fastest lap, but once again it's for honor, and he's already a 10th up on his fastest lap time. Of course, coming through that tricky and very fast chain of corners, he will eventually reach Stefan Beswick as he goes purple in Sector 2. Now let me just illustrate you, he was 1 second faster than Alex Torregrossa for Sector 2. He's flying. I think he can possibly break into 1:33.9, but it's all eyes on that Sector 3 as he's losing time right now. Doesn't seem like he can improve, only a better breakthrough last corner.
There's a very, very interesting point here with the car he has in front. He's going to jump out of the way. No, he doesn't use all the road. He uses the draft. He chooses the draft to get the higher top speed come the end of the straight. 43 seconds left. What was that time? I can't read it. God damn it.
1:34.206. Only
so close.
600ths of a second to go past. He locks up into turn 1. Hopefully it won't cost him that much time. But it seems that we are on the last lap as Daniel Fernandez is coming to the beginning of Sector 3. What an uneventful race for him. Of course, amazing start. I'm free to call it luck.
Yes.
You may hate me for that.
Nope.
I don't care.
Nope, you're fine. I'm totally with you.
But finally, we see the uprise of Daniel Fernandez. So from Spanish Duo, we had Alex Torregrossa dominating the first point of the season, and coming to this midpoint as we are finishing the last race of the first half of the season. It's great to see a new winner emerge, and that is Daniel Fernandez as he just crossed the line. Ryan Black right now crossing the line, P2 overall, P1 in Tier 2. Great driving from the American. And then we have Tim Eintema scoring really likely podium, and Alex Torregrossa completing the roster in... sorry, is it called the roster? Top three?
Yeah, it's a podium.
Podium, but a roster is like a full... Okay. sorry for this.
No,
Rui Silva is coming home second in Tier 2. Sean Purcell does not take the fastest lap of the race, fourth in his tier. Stubborn Gymnast completing the podium for Tier 2. Then we have Ruben Rice across the line. Clive Allen seems to have made another mistake, 7.5 seconds slower than his fastest lap time, but he can take home, what is it, 5th place in his
looks
tier.
like it.
And so will be the case with Aero Smudge coming through the last corner as somebody had locks up. Is it?
Kit? No.
No, that's Thapt.
Right.
Who will come in the last position.
There we go.
Of this race. Sam Butters, sadly, in last in Tier 1, when we don't count the DNFs. Well, as we're waiting to come for everyone to come across the line, what would be your summary for the second race?
Once again, reverse grids prove their absolute worth as far as racing is concerned. I don't think there is a single question as to whether reverse grids give lively racing. Mixing the tiers up certainly gave a much better show than I was thinking, or what I was expecting from a traditional top 10 reverse grid. But absolutely astounding race, absolutely exceptional racing from all of our AOR boys and girls. I don't know. I don't know quite how to sum it up in a single word. Absolutely brilliant. Really was a joy to see. Hopefully we'll have some drivers in for an interview, and straight away Tim Eintema, ever the most joyful man on the grid. Congratulations on your podium tonight. Very well driven. A hard-fought evening it looks like for you.
Yeah, true. During qualifying, I only managed to do 3 fast laps. The other laps I had to either slam on the brakes or avoid someone, so that was a bit of a shame. And in the 3 fast laps I had, only the first one was actually without me making a mistake, and the other 2 was just me pushing too hard. And I think during my testing I managed to actually set a 1:33.75, I think it was. So I could have been like around 4th in the end in qualifying, or maybe 5th. So that would have been a lot better, but yeah, that just didn't happen. And then in the first race, I placed my car in the exact wrong place in the first corner, and I got overtaken by about 5 people because I had to take the corner very slowly.
Yeah.
And that was my mistake. After that, I was trying to get it back, and I was sort of in a bit of a qualifying feel still, so I pushed way too hard sometimes. And then as soon as I also got close to Sarv, I just made mistakes and even maybe lost a bit of downforce on the rear or something, because it got very was sliding a lot as soon as I got behind another car.
Yeah, error wash. It's a big problem with these Formula cars.
Yeah, true.
But
and it just didn't feel like I managed to extract the maximum pace out of the car. But then the second race, I really showed what I was capable of for this race.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, a welcome return to the podium, both overall and in Tier 1. Give me your opinion, if you can, regarding the merging of the tiers. You think it's been a beneficial move for the racing?
I think it definitely makes sure there's a lot more to watch for the viewers, I would say. And the only real downside I see so far is that people in Tier 2 seem to occasionally make a bit more of mistakes. And that was especially noticeable during qualifying. But I think pretty much everyone is struggling during qualifying. So maybe we're even a lot of people from Tier 1 as well. So even me, I mean.
I was going to say,
struggling as well.
It seemed to be a really difficult session for a lot of people tonight. Maybe the track wasn't quite where everyone was expecting it to be.
Yeah, especially the sector 2, the two fast right-handers. Your
Yeah.
tires would like pretty much start to blow up, like to get up to 200 degrees. And I was capable of taking those corners full throttle with fuel for the race, like 55 liters or something like that. So that was good, but was a bit yeah, a bit dangerous kind of. If I would like turn in the wrong way, I would completely go wide. And that happened a few times.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
But
I think the rest was just struggling with that as well. Like those corners were just so hard on the tires. The rest of the track was fine, but those corners were just, they were so bad.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. But overall, a much more interesting evening and some really revelationary talent on display tonight, I think, as well, especially in that reverse grid.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what his name was, but he was he kept the gap between me and him on 5 seconds, and I think he started probably like around place 1 or 2, and he kept second. So the guy in front really did a good job.
Yeah, absolutely,
That
absolutely.
was Ryan Black, the winner of Tier 2. Amazing job by him. So, let me just add a simple question. If you would pick one word from that second race to describe it, would it be consistency?
Yeah, probably. I dialed back the driving just a tiny bit, just enough to not crash out too much, and I think I only made pretty much one mistake that got me off track. So yeah, probably consistency. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
Perfect. You have a lovely evening, Tim, and we'll see you next week. Congratulations on that podium and commiserations, kind of, for the first one.
Yeah, thank you guys. I was happy to still get up to seventh, and the important part was that I never gave up. So
Absolutely. Spot on. Couldn't have said it any better myself. You have a lovely evening, mate.
yeah, you guys too.
Take care.
And next into the comm box, we're going to have our winner of race 1 and our driver of the day. Well, no, my driver of the day. I don't know about you, Mally. Sean Purcell. Welcome to the comm box. Give us an overview of your evening, mate.
Thanks for that. Yeah, race 1 was brilliant. We had a great pace, good qualifying for the first time of the year, splitting the Daniel Alex, the two Spaniards. So that was a nice feeling. And then made a decent start in the first race and just kept the pressure on Alex until he made a mistake and won the race.
Yeah. A different story for race 2, though. Talk us through that. Starting from 10th from the reverse grid, how did you find it dealing with the tier 2 drivers, or was it pretty much of a muchness?
The tier 2 drivers were great, and fair play to them joining in on such short notice. It's not very easy to, it wouldn't be very easy to do something like that. But starting from 10th, I made a great start, managed to get out the inside of everyone, and I think I was in 4th when just had a bit of contact and went flying off, and I think I was in 12th then after a little bit of contact and just had to fight the way back through. But it was fun though.
Absolutely, it was fantastic to watch as well. It was counting down the seconds per lap that you were gaining on cars in front. You really were a man on the mission tonight, and yeah, as I say, definitely my driver of the day personally. Watching your progress up the field was absolutely astounding and really well done. You deserve every point that you get from that.
Thanks very much. That means the world.
Anything from you, Mally?
No, we were waiting for you to make the fastest lap in race 2, but
Didn't quite happen.
I guess you leave us in for next time. So, one feat for this race is we are halfway through. Is there anything you would like to share with us about how the first half of this season looked to you?
Yeah, the season's been brilliant. Like, now that racing in real life is all being called off, it's just so great for us that we're able to jump online and do something like this, and it's organized brilliantly. So really enjoyed it. The second half of the season, I'm looking forward to more than the first. A lot more tracks that I'm used to driving. I've struggled getting used to tracks like Mugello and Vallelunga. So yeah, looking forward to the second half of the season now. Just got to beat the Spaniards.
Excellent. Excellent. You have a lovely evening, Sean, and we'll catch you next time.
Same goes. Thanks very much, guys.
Take care.
And now into the comm box, we have a new voice, Ryan Black. Very much a revelation to the Formula 3 League. Second place overall in Race 2. And first, is this a double win for you tonight in Tier 2, if I'm right?
That is correct.
I believe so.
So, massive congratulations are in order then. And talk us through your evening.
So, I started practicing. I normally start practicing like the day after the race, and I've actually missed out on the last 2 races due to personal events that happened. But so during the first race, I was pushing way too hard. I was mainly really I was just pressured because of me being with tier 1 and qualifying so much higher than I expected. So I was pressured that I had to keep up with them, and because of that I just kept running wide and I just kept doing a lot of things that I really shouldn't have. And on the last half of the race I dialed back and brought back some places. And I just kept that same mentality for race 2. I got a really good start on race 2. I shot up to P1 right away, which I'm surprised that I actually did that. But
No. That launch was awesome. Like you were alongside P2 before the line. So no, that was an inspired start and probably contributed a lot to the rest of the events of your race.
Oh yeah, it gave me so much more confidence that I could actually race with these people, and my nerves shot down, and I just kept my head forward and tried to stay consistent.
Excellent, superb to hear. And you're gonna enjoy sticking around with the tier 1 guys. You're gonna bring it to them.
I'll try.
It'll be a pleasure to watch. It really will. Congratulations on a double win tonight, Ryan, and thank you very much for dropping in to say hi as well. It's brilliant to hear a different voice on stream.
Thank you very much.
You have a lovely evening, mate.
You too.
And so Toro Grossa is currently broadcasting to the room, apparently. Oh no, he's just stopped. So here you go. I will drag in Toro Grossa to the comm box. Alex, talk us through your evening. What an evening of racing it was for you.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, there's a lot to review, to watch, to say that I think I'm speechless right now.
That's understandable. That's totally understandable. It would be really unfair to say what happened, but we were watching you in the first race, and you seemed to have a perfect control on everything, and then it just kind of went away. Was it tires? Was it pressure? What? Or have you not? Oh, the tires were going.
Yes, yeah.
Oh man. Oh, that's so upsetting. So was it? What were you on, mediums?
Hearts as well as
Really?
but I guess because I was leading, I was trying to push as hard as possible, and
Yeah.
I knew that the tires were just weren't off to the end of the race, and yeah, that's what's happened.
That's heartbreaking. That really is. And then obviously with the reverse grid in the second race, you were in amongst the pack. Tell us how that went for you, because you seem to struggle quite a bit in the new drivers that we had joining us tonight.
Nah, I was struggling with the second races. I mean, I've got like uh some second races through this season that I could like take advantage of mistakes from other drivers, but of course, I still I'm having a hard time to overtake with these cars. Uh, Even though this circuit wasn't like really hard to overtake, and still it was hard. It was hard to keep like uh, close behind the other drivers. I did a lot of mistakes. The well, the first corner incident as well. I just had a lot of things to peel up through the second race, and even though when the first stage passed, 15 minutes went gone from the second race, I was still thinking on the past things, and I couldn't focus enough to drive fast.
So just had a bit of an off day.
Yeah, we
That's,
can say that.
it happens to the best of us, it really does. But at least you can come back stronger next week and remind everyone why you're at the top of the timetables and the top of the championship. But anything to add, Mally?
I would ask the same question I asked Tim, I believe. So, you are still a championship leader and one of the most probable championship contenders, and we are now finished with first half of the season. So, what are your thoughts for the upcoming second half?
We're approaching circuits that's they are going to be hard for me for sure. Nürburgring, the next week is Nürburgring. At least it's 1 hour race. There wouldn't be like a mess for the second race. So the second race already. But I know beforehand that I'm going to struggle on that track. Then Slaughterings is so bumpy the track. Then it's Monza. Probably Monza. We're going. The team is going to be competitive. I think we're confident to say that. But we're approaching really hard tracks at the end of the season, and there's if people think there's like I actually won the championship, they're totally wrong.
That's
You don't want to win?
Of course, I want to win, but if people is thinking about it's actually done, he's gonna win the championship. No, it's not end. It's still not finished.
not a voice of confidence from the championship leader, Alex Torregrossa. You heard it here first, folks. The championship isn't over yet. Brilliant. Thank you for jumping in, Alex. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you every time that you drop in, even on the more unfortunate evenings. Hope you have a lovely evening, and we'll see you next time out.
Yeah, thank you. You as well.
And last into the comm box, and again another new voice is Fapt, is the name that we're going to go with. Fapt, talk us through your race tonight. So first race with the Tier 1 guys. How did you find it? If he's there. I know he's there, but if he's not muted. Because he might be on push to talk.
Well, until we hear from Thapt,
Yes.
Thapt is actually a newcomer, so this is not only his first race with Tier 1, but the first race with...
First race with AOR. I know. I was talking.
Yeah.
I was talking to him in Discord. I was pointing him to the Discord and to you, in fact, to get enlisted. So no, absolutely fantastic to see him taking part in his first race. But yeah, just goes to show these leagues really do attract people all the time and from all different nationalities and origins. Shame we can't talk to Thapt right now. That would be... Oh! There he is! Can you hear us?
The one and only.
Excellent, Thapt. Congratulations on the conclusion of your first evening of AOR racing. Talk us through it. How was the transition? How are you feeling? How did that evening go?
Well, yeah, it started with a practice. In my head it was like, wait, was it at 7 UK time or at 8? So I messed up there a bit, but I was in time at least.
Yeah.
So anyway, I put in some laps. I did practice before, so it did go easier. And yeah, then qualifying. Basically I did two in laps before actually doing the qualifying lap, because yeah, I just made little mistakes, or someone else who was faster, yeah, they wanted to overtake, so I just let them. And for the races, well, the first few turns went well, but then I messed up somewhere. But it's the first race, so yeah.
No,
There's
absolutely.
practice ahead.
Yeah, yeah. But league racing is a new thing to you, or is it something you've done before?
No, I haven't really done anything like this before. Besides from playing Mario Kart with the family.
Excellent, excellent. So, your first foray into league racing, and you're in the comm box talking to us. How is league racing turning out for you at the moment? Enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I think I can I think I can learn a lot from the other drivers.
Yeah.
Especially with with things like fuel settings and stuff. Because in the first race I ran out of fuel because I forget to set the correct amount before the start of the race.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to next week.
Excellent. That's great to hear. That really is. And the thing is, as well, is that the AOR, the Assetto Corsa boys, really do know their stuff, and they're more than willing to help out when they need to. So, yeah, no, you will learn a lot from these guys, and you'll have fun while doing it. And I think there's no better way to learn, really, is there?
No, it's just like when you're playing an instrument. If you practice alone, it goes well. But if you practice with others, it just yeah, you learn way quicker, way easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful racing from yourself, and hopefully we'll see you next week at Nürburgring. I think we are. Yes. So
For a 1 hour race,
And-
one race only. So prepare your strategies and hope for a better race.
yeah.
I'll put enough fuel in the tank.
Well, you'll need to be doing a pit stop anyway, so only half fill it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Strategy is really big when it comes to the hour endurance, the hour races. It's an interesting one, but you're going to find that out next week as you've joined them on the grid.
Yeah. I'm actually quite surprised that I haven't been reprimanded yet. So.
I don't think you will. It's they're really nice guys here. They really are. You're in good company. Yeah, that's all I can say. You're in really good company. These guys will look after you.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great community, great drivers, good people. So.
Yeah. Right. You have a lovely evening, Thapt, and we'll see you next week.
You folks too. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
So, Mali Baćo, it has been an interesting evening of racing. We've had debuts, we've had mixed classes, we've had all sorts of racing, and that's without taking into account the reverse grid. What are your thoughts on the evening?
Well, the reverse grid shenanigans were absolutely bonkers. I don't know actually what bonkers means, but I know it's a word you
Crazy.
use. Anyhow.
It means crazy, and I think there's no other word.
Yeah.
There's no other word to sum up tonight. There was action up and down the field. We had tier 2 drivers sticking it to tier 1s. We had tier 1 drivers having to defend from tier 2 drivers. There really is a massive overlap of talent in these two tiers. Again, hats off to you and Sav for the work that you're putting in behind the closed doors, making sure that all of the classes, like the classes, are actually balanced. But there has been some really, really great racing tonight, and race 2 especially. It's going to be a learning experience for a few, but I think we do have a real opportunity to get some really well-honed drivers out of this league.
I'm quite sure, and one thing you couldn't see behind closed doors was definitely these placements. And given the results of these 2 races tonight, I'm quite confident that we did our job correctly.
Yeah.
So this is, how can I say, an evidence that what we did made sense, and that what we will do in the future will hopefully also make sense. Now, for the racing itself, of course, you have um, people from tier 2 a bit worried about what's going to happen. You know, you're suddenly in a mix with Alex Torgrosa, Danny Fernandez, Sean Purcell, Clive Allen, Sam Butters, Tim Einterman, you know, all these seasoned drivers. And I was expecting actually more people to be frightened about their results, about how they will perform, if they will um, let's call it be annoying to these tier 1 drivers. But overall, I'm quite impressed how everyone performed. Hope to have less mistakes once we are in a 60-minute race. Of course, the consistency is what will matter the most, and the strategy. So um, well, quite lovely evening.
Yes.
However, I am not sure if we will run a joint race with tier 1 and tier 2 next time. It all depends on driver attendance.
Yeah.
And actually tonight it was my call to merge, and literally I was just a thread away from calling it off.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad I didn't do it. I didn't pull the plug. So really good racing from everyone. Lovely to see. And here's to more to come.
I'm almost disappointed to hear you say we're not going to have a mixed class next race. The AOR Endurance would add another flavour of strategy and competition that we haven't seen yet between the two tiers. But I can't say anything else that you haven't. Absolutely kudos, hats off to the coordination team, whose work never seems to end, along with the coordinators from all of the other games that AOR deal with. It really has been a pleasure for myself to be able to commentate over your work, basically. Plagiarize your work on the YouTube channel, but no, I can't say any more than that. You really have outdone yourselves this season, and I can't wait to get to the rest of the season.
Yeah.
With that said, I think it's about time to close out. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. It's been a pleasure commentating with me, Eike Sky, and Mali Baćo in the combox with you tonight. Next time out, we are going from Italy to Germany, to the Nürburgring. Not the Nordschleife, but that doesn't mean that there aren't challenges awaiting our Tier 1 and Tier 2 drivers. Until next time, I will see you then. Good night.
Good night.